Hey, just wanted to get on here and share something. I felt that I was supposed to do a vlog, sometime back in 2018, and I never got on it for different reasons, fear of man perhaps, but I feel like Father's given me a second opportunity to share, and I want all that He wants me to have, and to be all that He would have me be, and do all that He has called me to do. I want more, so I'm trying to step out in obedience, so that's what I'm going to do. Anyway, I took some notes. It's the first time I've ever done this, so obviously it's not going to be very maybe cohesive or flow smoothly, but I'll do the best that I can. But during this time, I'm actually going to start with January just because I'd thought about some things and I never did do anything with it. And so it'll go from kind of January and culminate through recent events. But I'm kind of saying it's an opportunity. I hope that it will be received in the intent that I'm kind of putting it out there, received well as an opportunity rather than condemnation, maybe conviction, an opportunity to allow God to sanctify us through current events, present situation. The first thing was the Super Bowl. I was, I guess, not surprised, but just the fact that mostly, I should have said from the beginning that this is mostly for my Christian friends, which most of my Facebook friends are Christians, or I prefer believers. But the things that we do that maybe God would say, use this situation as an opportunity to be purified and sanctified and maybe reset, and maybe the things that we don't currently do, we could start doing. People are being kind and using this opportunity to be the hands and feet of the church. So maybe just let's be sanctified through this situation. But going back to the Super Bowl, it's gotten dramatically worse every year, and we have Super Bowl parties and get-togethers at homes, and some might even say, well, we don't really pay attention to it, it's just on. But with J-Lo, and I used to think she was a pretty good actress, I can't always say that the things that she's done. I've kind of read some articles and stuff, watched some videos that even with her last movie that maybe she was just portraying how hard women work, and that you can, have a killer bod at, 50 or whatever. But having a stripper pole, and she and Shakira doing the dances that they did, and a lot of these award shows have very famous women with men basically crawling all over them, and a lot of just demonic stuff. This year, they had children. J-Lo had her own daughter singing, and there's sexualization and seduction in the halftime show. And I do pray for J-Lo. I pray for a lot of actors and actresses, famous people, that they would know the Father and be led to salvation, that their souls would be saved, because I'm still kind of shocked, even in all that goes on today. I'm still kind of shocked when I hear of things that happen, but we're exposing our own children when we get together to watch these shows, and we might say, well, they're usually playing games, or they're not right there watching it. But if J-Lo and Shakira were here in the room, would we cover their eyes, not especially, but if we have young sons that would be viewing that, It's no different than if it's on television or right here. Um, but that just really bothered me. So I should have said something then, but I was pretty riled up about it. So I needed to calm down about that. But a second thing that bothered me, actually, I was discussing with a coworker the halftime show and how bad it's gotten, and that we just act like it's nothing really. And I picked up a local magazine and was reading about some charity events that were coming up, and I got riled up about that because I thought, wow, like, how come we always have to mix something good, like a charity organization or event, with something profane, like all these events have cocktail hours, or you can get a coupon to stay at the hotel if you've had a little too much to drink, if you tell them you were at this party or event. Or you can get a free ride home, maybe if you've had too much to drink, which is great. We don't want anybody out drinking and driving, but drinking and gambling, why do we have to mix those things with, the people that come up with these events and the ideas for the events? Why do we have to put drinking and gambling with these really good things? And this is just my opinion. We all have our own opinion, and they really are good things. It's time to get back to Father and His ways. Anyway, the next thing that kind of gets me a little riled up is Disney. Right now, football and Disney, the entertainment industry, is being highly affected by the current situation. And I'm not a big football fan, but the halftime show being part of that, Super Bowl and football, all that. But then Disney, people love Disney, but Disney has a lot of negatives. I know they are cute and fun for our kids, but there's a lot of witchcraft. And I haven't seen all the new movies out there, but we're showing our children that these things, the bad guys, are being seen as good, like in Maleficent. I did see that one. A lot of evil, a lot of occult, a lot of demonic, pagan elements. But Maleficent was seen as being the good guy, and I know the other side was not good as well. But Moana, Maui, the demigod, I hear this song, and I don't know if we've even read the actual lyrics, but people sing it with their children, where Maui sings about being a demigod, and he takes credit for everything. All of the lyrics are basically he's taking credit for the sun, the tides, the sky, the whole world, and the Creator did those things. And so it's not really funny when we're allowing our kids to believe that these things are okay when somebody else is taking credit, a false god is taking credit for things that the Creator did. Even in the lyrics, Maui says, there's no need to pray. Listen to what your children are hearing and believing. You might say that they go to church, so they know the truth. They know this is just entertainment. But that's just the point, kind of, that we're allowing our children to be entertained by things that the Father wouldn't be proud of, that he would probably call an abomination. Frozen 2, haven't seen that one. I watched a trailer just to kind of get a gist of what was going on in it. I'd heard about an ethereal spirit that called Elsa, I believe, is away. They draw children in. They're full of witchcraft, spirits, magic, pagan elements, enchantment. This one was called The Siren Call. And in this particular song I did listen to, Elsa hears this voice calling her, and she knows that it's drawing her and that it's dangerous, and that she's risking family and security of the known but at the end of the song, she's basically saying, but I'm going to run to the unknown, even putting her family at risk. So another thing we do, watching The Bachelor, that is people having sex. That's watching other people making out, one guy or girl, whichever it is, with all these people. And I see posts on Facebook of Christians, they're watching this, and so and so sleeping with so and so, and if I always say, if Jesus were sitting right here, would you still be watching that? But he's still sitting here. He is here. How are we okay with watching other people? Like, if they were right in the room, would we still be watching that? But because it's on TV, it makes it okay. Again, I'm not trying to condemn. I'm just trying to say, like, look at what we do. Look at the things that we do, and we wonder why, we're dealing with judgment. And this is, again, for Christians, non-believers. I pray that they would see our walk and want that. But this virus just kind of culminated all of these other things to show us that, maybe our faith is impotent. What kind of credibility do we have with those outside the church if we look just like them? If there's no difference in the way we look and the way they look. So back to The Bachelor, watching things on TV. I don't really watch a lot of TV, so I don't know what all is out there, so I just kind of picked on The Bachelor. Like Dancing with the Stars, I know sometimes that's basically almost naked people writhing around, dancing seductively. There's a lot of, I don't watch TV, a lot of seduction and sex sells. So, but sexual sin, what we're doing in our own lives, are we pure in our own marriages even? Look at the things that you're doing, if there's any fornication or adultery or even things that God wouldn't approve of in the marriage bed. It's just a time to look at ourselves and see if there's anything that God would have us change, any negative way in me that, allow the Father to sanctify you and purify you. So this virus comes up, and I heard this Facebook post of a church that was closing, and I thought, what? Like, what? That's just silly. And I thought, well, that's kind of like the businesses. The churches kind of seem like businesses, and I'm not saying anything negative against any pastor. I say that we all have to listen to God and do what He would have us to do, and pastors are pulled in a lot of directions. They have different voices coming from different directions with their own opinions. I was just saddened that it was a suggestion, and I do understand the safety for people with compromised immune systems, but I heard that some churches didn't want to open their doors because others might come to the church that weren't members of that church because their church was closed. And I thought, why would that be a bad thing if people who were missing their fellowship got to experience the fellowship at our church? Or what if the lost decided on that given Sunday or whatever day to visit a church, and the doors are either closed or they don't know they have online services. So I get it. I'm not saying that, I'm not judging any church. Do what you have to do. It's just, it's sad that it's come to this. But are we impotent in our faith? Have we lost credibility to those outside the church? But I did want to go to a couple of scriptures. Hebrews 13:17. Obey your leaders and submit to them, for they keep watch over your lives as people who will have to render an account. So make it a task of joy for them, not one of groaning, for that is of no advantage to you. So certainly pray for our pastors. Pray that they stand during this time. Yes, we have great opportunity to be the hands and feet and to serve others. People are thinking of some really creative, and it's just the beginning, but people are thinking of wonderful ideas to serve and help others, so that's awesome. The second verse I wanted to look at was Lamentations 3:31 through 33. For rejection by Adonai does not last forever. He may cause grief, but he will take pity, in keeping with the greatness of his grace. For he does not arbitrarily torment or punish human beings. Down to 37. Who can say something and have it happen without Adonai's commanding it? Don't bad things and good proceed from the mouth of the Most High? Why should anyone alive complain, even a strong man, about the punishment for his sins? Let us examine and test our ways and return to Adonai. Let us lift up our hearts and our hands to God in heaven and say, we for our part have transgressed and rebelled. He says, my people, if my people, meaning us as believers, will humble themselves and pray. And people usually stop there with that verse. But if we go to 2 Chronicles 7, let me find that real quick. Everybody, well, I've seen a lot of use of that particular verse. They're using the one before it, if I shut up the sky so that there is no rain, or if I order locusts to devour the land, or if I send an epidemic of sickness among my people. And we have seen locusts, and we have seen an epidemic of sickness, and we have seen in Australia rain being held back. Then if my people who bear my name will humble themselves, pray, seek my face, and turn from their evil ways, that's us, I will hear from heaven, forgive their sin, and heal their land. Now my eyes will be open and my ears will pay attention to the prayer made in this place. But if you turn, this is verse 19, but if you turn away and abandon my regulations and commands which I've set before you, and go and serve other gods, worshiping them, so if we're serving the gods of idolatry, of sex, of the demonic, of paganism, of magic, witchcraft, sorcery, all these things that we discussed. But if you turn away and serve other gods, worshiping them, then I will pull them up by the roots out of the land I have given them. Verse 21 says, why has Adonai done this to this land and to this house? But the answer will be, it's because they abandoned Adonai, the God of their ancestors, who brought them out of the land of Egypt, and took hold of other gods, worshiping and serving them. This is why Adonai brought all these calamities on them. So he allows these things to happen. And someone said recently, during the test, the teacher doesn't speak. It's after the test that the teacher goes over the things that you didn't get. The teacher doesn't go over the things that you got right, but you go over the things that maybe you missed. So this is a test. We know that things will come in the future and they'll be harder, but let us be found faithful during this test and allow God to sanctify us and bring others to Him because of our faith and the hope that they see in us, and the endurance and the sanctification. So we've got to come out of Egypt. He delivered us from Egypt, our bondage, our sin, but we're still acting as though we're still in Egypt. Those things still have a foothold with us. So not only Egypt, but Babylon. So come out of Babylon, my people. I pray that this would be an encouraging word, and again, not condemnation, but let this situation serve as an opportunity to cleanse us and to help us see the things maybe we haven't seen. So I just say, like, rather than think I'm pointing fingers, I've got my own planks. Pray and just ask God if any of that resonates with you. Father, what do you see in me that needs to go? And whatever it is, let him have it. But anyway, I needed to do that out of obedience, and it's done, and I'm thankful. So I just pray for each person that is connected with me through Facebook. God's got good things, but he wants a pure and spotless bride, and we can be that. We can do what he's called us to do, and live as that new man, transform our thoughts and be made new. But anyway, I thank you for listening, and be blessed.